Today we're going over the Legendary Banner for May 2025 in Fire Emblem Heroes. We'll discuss the new hero and the 11 returning units on the banner. I've been pleasantly surprised by the unit choices recently, and this month is another surprise. Legendary Black Knight is having it his way. People are assuming that for this ult, it's kinda like Legendary Sigurd in that this BK has already moved on from life post Radiant Dawn. He's got the shiny gold aura, and I love the gold beaming out of his beat up armor. You then have the absolutely sick Black Alondite with fiery gold edges. This is such a nice ult for probably still one of the most iconic masked bad guys of the franchise for those that at least played the Tellius games. As a reminder, Path of Radiance will at some point be playable with the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass. If you do get a Switch 2, I highly recommend playing this game. Ike is one of the most popular lords for a reason, and BK is an amazing antagonist to go up against. Moving on, let's talk about Legendary Black Knight as a unit. He's a fire pair up legendary that boosts attack. BK will be a sword armor naturally, but I'm pretty sure he will not be fast this time. He is looking like a more general slow armor tank. For old skills, Black Knight has brought attack and defense Briar Bar Save back. We still only have a single Briar variant. This save your skill gives 5 flat DR and reflects back 40% of the original base damage taken prior to reductions. If you don't KO Black Knight, he's gonna hit back harder. Black Knight's new sword is the Final Sword. At start of player or enemy phase, if above 25% HP, BK grants plus 6 attack and defense and 2 new statuses, Imbue and Reflex, to both himself and allies within 2 spaces. Final Sword is a 60 might slaying weapon. If foe initiates combat or Black Knight is healthy, he gets plus X attack and inflicts minus X attack on the foe. This X value is equal to 6 plus 20% of BK's flat defense stat. In addition, he will deal true damage and gain flat damage reduction equal to Y. Against enemy specials, double the flat DR amount. If the foe is above 70% HP, this Y value is equal to 16. Otherwise, it's always a base 10 value. Black Knight has 2 more effects. He will fully neutralize the Deep Wound / Fatal Smoke anti-healing effect, and his special triggers have full DR piercing. Let's go over the 2 new statuses. First, Imbue reduces the Deep Wound / Fatal Smoke effect by 50% during combat. It also restores 40% of the unit's max HP as combat begins. For Reflex, it gives 7 flat damage reduction against first attacks. It then reflects damage from the enemy's first attack when the user counters back. Unlike the Briar skill, this damage reflection includes damage reduced from all sources. Imbue is basically a Breath of Life 4 status. Reflex is a flat DR and damage reflection status. If you enjoyed the fun Johanna Lance from earlier this year, then you can now get that damage reflection onto any unit. I'm not 100% sure Reflex will work with skills that have damage reflection built in. I'm pretty sure it does stack, but correct me if I'm wrong. Now when it comes to his own combat, Black Knight will gain attack and inflict attack debuffs based on his flat defense. BK can get 16 true damage plus flat DR. He will always heal in combat, and naturally Black Knight's specials will pierce regular % DR. Speaking of specials, Black Knight has upgraded his Fearsome Eclipse once again. This time it's called Pitch Dark Luna. Like its previous versions, this is a 3 cooldown special that can deal damage equal to 80% of the foe's defense stat. This time, Pitch Dark Luna will also scale off the foe's speed stat if that is the higher stat. Further effects, BK gets unpierceable % damage reduction equal to X. X is going to be 50 minus the current cooldown value times 10. If Pitch Dark Luna is fully charged, Black Knight will get the max 50% damage reduction. Now, if Black Knight triggers this special in battle, he will always get 50% DR for all hits taken afterwards. Continuing, this special then grants Nelsie Disrupt, so Black Knight always counters back. Last, if BK has 5 more defense than the foe, he gets Hardy Bearing to disable attack priority changing skills. Essentially, Legendary Black Knight can get 50% unpierceable damage reduction for all attacks. If you fight BK, you must tank his attacks, and you cannot use Desperation to trick him if you're a low defense unit. Be very careful if you challenge this dude. If Pitch Dark Luna is uncharged, Black Knight might only get 30% damage reduction. However, the new Counter Fighter basically ensures he gets the full 50% every fight. If foe initiates or the user has high HP, inflict minus 5 attack, deal true damage and gain flat DR equal to 15% attack, and heal 7 HP on hit. If unit uses an offensive special, you get minus 2 instant cooldown before the foe attacks. If it wasn't obvious, Legendary Black Knight has been taking peeks at what Ike's been doing recently and decided to copy his playstyle. Counter Fighter is going to give the same cooldown as Lagu's friend. It doesn't have any cooldown count restrictions, meaning all these Slaying Armored Special users will pre-charge their special before getting attacked. That's going to activate their unpierceable percent DR effects, though for BK it gives them 50% DR for all hits taken. The other perks are similar to the recent fighter skills, True Damage and Flat DR, although this one scales off attack. Counter Fighter adds healing when you do counter back, and from the symbol, I assume this is a Vengeful Fighter upgrade. If that is the case, then this is a very easy skill to inherit. Naturally, a counter-based unit isn't complete without Distant Counter. BK introduces a new DC skill line. Distant Attack and Defense form states unit can counter regardless of range. If you're within 3 spaces of an ally, you get bonus attack and defense equal to the number of allies in that range times 3. If you have 3 allies within 3 spaces, you get +9 attack and defense. If you trigger Savior though, you get the max +9 regardless. Despite the easy condition for armors, Distant Form is inheritable by all melee units. While Distant Bonus Doubler and Fortifications are fun, this is a straight DC plus stat boosting skill. It grants more attack to help with counterattacks, and for armors they can get the full stat boost very easily. Overall, Legendary Black Knight looks pretty decent, 50% unpierceable DR for all hits taken, and I believe he stacks up to 28 flat DR with another flat DR amount equal to 15% of his attack stat. BK then stacks 2 damage reflection effects with multiple true damage sources on top of his insanely high damage DR piercing special. With No Seed Disrupt and Distant Counter, you have to fight the guy, and he can get Hardy Bearing against squishy foes too. If you cannot one-shot Black Knight cleanly, the dude's counterattack is gonna hurt, and then he'll also heal back up after. For some issues, BK has no follow-up attacks and is slow this time. I think adding a Wily or Slick Fighter Sacred Seal would be nice for insurance. Pitch Dark Luna is vulnerable to Scowl, and without it, BK has no DR piercing. If you try to initiate combat, BK also cannot charge a special without a follow-up of some kind. I'm a little disappointed that Black Knight doesn't have some kind of warping or a special savior like they recently do. Go to Warp Powder was fun. That said, those Imbue and Reflex statuses are quite interesting. Very good healing status with a pretty fun damage reflection status. Obviously, you're gonna have to watch out for Black Knight's counterattacks, but you're gonna need to watch out for his teammates' ones too. Reflex could have a lot of value, so definitely keep an eye on it. For the rest of this video, we'll briefly go through the 11 other heroes on the banner. Red has Legendary Black Knight with Emblem Erica and Nidhogger. Blue has Veil, Freyr, and Midir. Green has Hathran, Legendary Male Corrin, and Legendary Female Lear. Colorless has Larauder, Eikthenir, and Ada Yunaka. Legendary Black Knight has 2 new skills to inherit. Distant Attack and Defense form would be a nice DC option, and Counter Fighter focuses on pre-charging those percent dare specials. Nice pairing with Twin Save. If you prefer a more aggressive option, BK is only the 2nd unit with Briar Save. That would go nicely with the recent Fallen Unlears and their Fell Spirit status. Emblem Erica makes her first rerun, extremely strong Emblem Ring that gives melee units brave attacks. Erica herself has the Windsword style to toggle a ranged attack. She has brave hits with extra cooldown to charge her special for a high-powered assault. Now, Blue Skies is a nice Content 2A skill with some true damage and flat DR. Assault Force gives true damage, debuff neutralization, and 50% DR piercing. As for attack and speed inside hone, this is a super good team buffing skill for Cavaliers. Last up we have Mythic Nidhogger, super tanky unit who deals instant damage and gets more flat DR if you cannot heal that damage. Black Knight's new Imbue status could help counter against that. Now, Nidhogger's dosage can heal after combat, plus protect against status stealing effects. She's got Sturdy Beast for percent DR and Twin Save to double its uses. Slick Fighter adds more flat DR to tank with. If you can't handle the Snake Lady, it's been a very rough year for you. For the blue group, Mythic Veil returns. She offers decent stat support with 30% DR and Scowl for allies. For combat, Veil has a high attack and res stat with simple follow-up, true damage, and 50% DR piercing thanks to Tempo 4. If Veil can charge her special, she can add some extra true damage and healing via finish. Next, Mythic Freyr is a strong deterrent. At the start of each phase, he puts up a barrier to block penalties from applying. This takes care of a lot of regular debuffs, but you can get by this with mid-phase debuffing effects. Now for combat, Freyr is just really tanky, trying to survive. He's got some percent DR, lots of debuffs, and then Clash and Low skills for more stat advantages. The third blue unit is Midir. He's a blue bow cav who can inflict exposure and deep wounds. Midir's rampart bow can inflict 32 true damage on grouped up enemies. You can add on more stats plus a follow-up with Slice with a Sparrow, and then you got Insight, Speed, and Defense for self-buffing. For the green group, Mythic Hathran is a super bulky beast. Her Divine Nectar status fully counters deep wounds / Fatal Smoke's anti-healing, and she heals 20 HP as combat begins. It gives 10 flat DR, plus Hathrin can give her team an extra action if they assist other Divine Nectar users. Hathrin can inflict her own deep wounds and anti-miracle status, that's pretty valuable. She then focuses on surviving with Stronghold and Bulwark to mess with movement. Legendary Melkorn's a high speed and res dragon. His Dragon Fang shot can give unpierceable % DR, pierces enemy DR skills, and lays down Divine Vein water tiles after combat. Corrin can recharge a special each fight, and he has Scowl and Distant Counter built into his weapon. Corrin has High Dragon Wall for Warp Bubble against ranged foes and regular % DR. He has Attack and Res Ploy for more res base debuffs, and then Speed and Res Finish for his Always Ready special. Last up is Legendary Female Alir. Unlike her recent Fallen ult, this one is very speedy. She can give her support partner DR piercing specials, and Alir herself is a dragon with brave attacks. She has Pledge for cooldown, Finish to work with her charge special, and then Nelsie Disrupt to counter back always. This Alir can quad easier, but her new Fallen ult is definitely a lot tankier. In colorless, Mythic Marauder returns with his tricky Assigned Decoy plus Flash status combo, very annoying unit. He also applies Panic, Sabotage, and Discard for stat debuffing. For his own combat, Marauder gives himself -2 cooldown similar to the new counter fighter. He readies Armored Flow's % DR and has flat DR to stack with it. Marauder's got Fortune to transform, but he's not really interested in saving allies. Barricade will have War Bubble to make getting to Marauder more of a hassle. Next, Mythic Aetherner offers a unique +3 to field buff stat support. He also adds bonus doubler with +6 attack and defense as well. For himself, Ache transforms with his Beast skill and self-cleanses penalties. He uses Beast Threaten to pre-charge the DR piercing Fierce Beast special, and he ends Excel for extra flat DR. He has a free follow-up, Treachery type true damage, and can escape with Kanto. Ache will also inflict a ton of attack and defense debuffs as well. Last unit for today is Aided Yunaka with her first rerun, I believe. Super scary assassin with unique warp ability and pass to get to targets. Yunaka's got brave attacks, slang plus cooldown with lethality, no follow-up, and she has desperation via active lookout. She also has some stat related debuffing, full disarm for traps, and active lookouts Kanto plus distant swap. This is a very fun unit and kit, and arguably the best reason to summon Yunaka is that you're going to get her Black Cat 8 accessory. That'll be it for this month's banner. Legendary Black Knight is very cool and brings some new statuses with the good old Lagoon's friend tank and spank counterattack playstyle. A little all or nothing, but BK this time does look fairly tanky. Like his rival, you're gonna need to face his attacks if you cannot kill him quickly. I've been debating on what to spend my orbs on recently, but I do think I'm gonna try to get a copy of Black Knight for myself. He's one of my favorite bad guys from the franchise, and I love his new golden look. Thank you for watching, good luck on your summons, and I will see you in the next video.